Hi folks, this is Anthony Christo here, concept artist and illustrator. Just thought I'd give you some free, I suppose, process videos on how I draw some of my ideas. Today I'm just going to draw just a quick sketching video on how I sketch the Mad Hatter. We've got some examples here, and I'm going to be drawing that today. I've just thought I would share with you my Patreon. It is located at patreon.com, Anthony Christo, and you can subscribe and get all my process videos, my comic book luminous ages, and all my concept art and illustrations, and all the resources behind what I make. And we have different tiers, different milestones for everyone, and there's a lot of value in what I'm doing at the moment, and your support would be really appreciated. So the actual video I'm doing now is just a sample, I suppose, a sketch of how I've painted everything or drawn everything, and these are just this is my rough sketch phase, how I kind of put together illustrations and stuff for clients and for myself and for projects, you know. So I'm just going through and just going to show you all how I get this done. This is more the exploration phase, so it's not usually when I'm working on a painting. Say if I started drawing for the week, I will do the first 2 days are spent on drawing different designs, and usually throughout a whole bunch of them, you know, there usually is never, sometimes I'm lucky and the first few drawings are the ones that we go to, but sometimes it's about drawing warming up and drawing a few designs before going to the final thing. You never want to start off, use your first drawing or painting in your designs, because simply it makes your work look unprofessional, and, you know, it's just, you know, practice makes perfect, as they say. So yeah, I always draw different designs and give myself time to kind of, you know, explore a topic. You know, sometimes it does work. There are cases where, like, I really know what I'm going for, and I know the size, the angle, the dimensions, everything. I have a really good story in my head developed, and I know what I'm doing. But there are some cases where you need to kind of step back and do some research or experiment with a topic, and I think it's just part of the drawing process, you know. You're never going to really have the first design, and yeah, so this is just the drawing phase, and going through and just working things out. So he has a really huge collar, so I'm determining, like, do I go full body illustration, do I go with a, you know, just a upper body, because it's, you know, it really depends on what I feel like or what is working at the time. You know, sometimes with illustration work, you know, you have to mix it up and say, well, I'm not going to do full body, I'm just going to do almost like a portrait illustration of a character or whatever. And I mean, this is probably not a bad example. I mean, it's got a bit of life in it, this drawing, but just a little bit. But when you're drawing, it's always good to kind of, like I said, don't settle on your first idea, because if you're drawing characters, it's very important to make sure you have a front-on view. You know, the character's eyes are looking at the viewer, only because it looks cooler. And not just that, it does draw people's attention in, so to speak. So people always look at eyes first. Like, that's how we interact with each other, with human beings. We all always look at each other's eyes when we're talking, most of the time. You know, not in a creepy way, but in a normal way. And you know, you always judge someone like that. And yeah, so I'm just experimenting with this drawing, and yeah, so I've got like my own pencil that I've made here as I was, you know, I have a lot of resources I give away to people with the Patreon, so they get my brushes, they get my process videos, PDFs, all that sort of stuff. So there's a lot on offer. Yeah, so you know, this is, like I said, I try not to spend too much time on something. I'll leave this one at this point, so we'll turn that one off. We've got a drawing here that we can use. So this is just exploration. We've got a few Mad Hatter drawings. This is one I did before, just was real bad. Don't like that at all. And I think there's another one up here which is horrible. Yeah, it's getting worse and worse. So I'm just gonna throw them all, just create new layers and keep on exploring this, and hopefully it gets better and better. I will turn off my voice unless I want to talk later, but I will switch off my voice in a minute. But I just thought I'd tell you what I'm doing and then let the music play, and I'll keep on drawing. So and what I'm doing here as well is before I turn off the voice for a while, is I experiment with design. You know, like what can I exaggerate on the actual initial Mad Hatter design to make him stand out, or make him not so much more appealing, but you know, give it my own touch or its own flair in terms of design, you know. Because you don't want to settle on the first thing, you know, like, do I exaggerate the nose? Do I exaggerate the eyes, the hair, the hat, you know, the bow tie? Do we make that just massive, you know? So that's just part of it. Is part of me drawing this is working out, okay, what do I like, you know, what looks cool. And this is, you know, this is where you kind of, when you're designing or you're creating an art print, you know, to sell or to do whatever for a client, you know, if you've got the luxury, you know, the difference between concept design and say illustration is that, you know, concept design and you're coming up with a new idea, a new version. I'm kind of doing that because I'm kind of trying to interpret the Mad Hatter in my own way, you know, and part of it is, that's part of being a concept designer, and you want to come up with, you know, a different take on it, something really interesting or cool. But then the illustration comes in when you're kind of developing, you want to develop a really good look, you know, something that's going to strike, sell a product, or give something attention, you know, really strike someone's attention. And good illustration is also about doing that. And I basically have done both for clients. You know, sometimes people want me to make concept art they come up with designs for a video game, you know, or a movie, and then sometimes people want me to create something that's going to help sell their product, you know, whether it's their game, their movie, their comic book. Sometimes I've worked with films and the studios and the directors that have been on the movie, whether it's independent or a feature film, they want you to create a striking image. They sometimes have a design in mind. They already know, they're like, hey, this is the design we really want. We want this guy to look like this and this girl to look like that. And we want this is basically a rough idea of, they have a vision. So you can show them something better, or you can add to what they've got, but then it's about making it a really powerful image that's going to help them sell that film to get their funding or whatever. To get them noticed at the Cannes Film Festival or whatever it is. So he looks a bit mad, stark raving mad already. And so, as you can see, these are just drawings, ideas. It's just exploration of expressions, facial expressions, and it's nothing concrete, set in concrete, you know. This is why you have this drawing phase. And like, you know, I'm really trying to exaggerate that mad hair that he has, and the hat is kind of too small. Just playing, this is pretty bad. I think that shape was better, but it's not, it's too small. So I'm just gonna grab that and scale it up. Now, kind of works, just gives me an idea. Usually what I do is, just to explain why I come up with all of these ideas and just put them in different layers. If there's something that I really like and I'm like, yeah, I want to do that, I will trace over it and start again, and then fix up, clean up the drawing, and then go into final illustration from the one design that I pick. So, you know, you don't throw these away. You can trace over them and refine them and make them better. And what drawing allows you to do is, it allows you to explore a topic without doing all the hard work or the illustration and painting. There's nothing wrong with hard work, but you could spend hours and hours on a drawing and on a painting, and it has too many problems. Whereas if you solve all the problems in the drawing, you're going to be many steps ahead as an artist. And it's hard because I actually like painting. So for me, it's trying to tune out and say, you know, I've got to paint, you know, not paint, because I'm so used to just painting an image. And there's nothing wrong with painting if you know exactly what you're painting, but sometimes you have to explore and draw and work out what it is that you want to do before going into things, you know. And so yeah, this is another one done. And I'll just keep on doing this, and I'll switch up my voice.